Welcome, second grade. So this week we are taking what we did last week, which is our three circle traced, or some of you might have two, some of you, depending on the size of your circle, might have been able to fit four. You're going to take that, and what we're going to do is we're going to need a scissors, and we're going to need that tracer that we used to make those circles for our other sheet. I'm going to take the tracer object that we used and set it off to the side. I'm not going to worry about this sheet yet. And what we're going to do to start out with this is I use the word fold loosely because I feel like to fold, we would actually like crease it and bend and kind of like go along the edge like we would if we were trying to fold the paper in half. We don't want to do that with this. All we really want to do is kind of keep it loose. So we're not trying to like crease this fold, but kind of bend and cut in the middle of our circle. Now, when we do that, we want to make sure that we do not go outside of our circle. So it started here, and I kind of have like a V shape, all right? And I'm going to do that inside of each of my circles. So gently. And if you're struggling, you can always ask an adult to do that, okay? So now I have a black piece of paper that has a V cutout shape in each of my three circles. And now this part's really important because depending on how well you cut these circles out will depend on how nice the edges are for this part of the project. So how well this design or this look looks, because the circle, the inside of the circle, we're not going to care about, but this edge where our pencil line is and the rest of our paper, that's what we want to keep nice. So when I cut this out, I am running my hands kind of all over the place to help me turn. I could even hold on once I have enough cut to the scrap piece or inside part that I'm cutting. So I'm going very slow, staying right on that pencil line, trying to cut out a really nice, smooth circle. All right. And right at the end here, this is kind of the hardest part because you want to try to make it kind of come right back to where you started. So a nice edge. All right. Now I'm going to do that 2 more times. There's 2. And the last one. All right. So these can be recycled. And now what we need to do is take out our other black piece of paper, our other half that we have. And now all that's important with this one is that we don't go off the edge of the paper and that we have the same amount of circles and the same size circles as we have on this sheet. So for me, it's just easier to put them almost kind of in the same spot, but you don't have to, because as you can see, or as you're going to see here in the next step, we're doing the opposite. So on this one, we cut out the circles, the centers, and what we were worried about was the outside. With this sheet, we're now no longer worried about the outside paper, we're worried about the circles. So now we're actually taking our time and cutting, and we're going to be keeping the actual circles. So we want to stay right on that pencil edge and not go inside of the circle. It's really important that you take your time cutting, because we want to make it look as if these circles came right out of here. Okay, we want them the same size, the same look. We want them to have as smooth of edges as we have on here on these ones. Another trick, if you don't like holding on to all the paper, is to cut off all that extra paper so that it's just easier to hold. And again, you'll notice my scissors never point in any other direction. It's my other hand that is constantly turning the paper and constantly moving to help me. And there's two, and the last one. All right. So your scraps now can be recycled, and what you're left with is a positive and negative, which we'll talk about next week, image, as if you took this and then flipped it over. You have a symmetrical image, but with the positive and the negative look. So we will explain more next week. Make sure you have a glue bottle and your weaving for next week. Thank you. Bye.